Hi everybody, and welcome to Baz Bites. I'm Tom Freeman, a systems architect based out of the Bay Area, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Intersight. Intersight brings intuitive, cloud-powered management capabilities to the UCS-based data center and is truly transforming the way my customers are operating their infrastructure. There's a lot to talk about with respect to Intersight, so I figured today we'll just start small and focus on the key capabilities I think will be most beneficial to get started on your Intersight journey. So let's take a look. To get started with Intersight, I suggest experimentation with the dashboards and the server inventory page. But before we can get down to that level of detail, we first need to add a few devices. To do so, we'll configure the device connector contained within any UCS component. So in my case, I've got the Cisco Integrated Management Controller of just a standard C-Series rack mount server. And what you'll find is that this server here has connectivity to the Intersight portal, but does not yet have connectivity to an Intersight domain. So what you do is take your device ID and your claim code, which you can then use to either establish a new Intersight domain or add the device to an existing Intersight domain. So once you've claimed this device within an Intersight domain, you'll then see it show up like this with a nice green bar, and it will tell you which Intersight domain you've claimed this device to. So with our devices claimed, we can now start exploring the dashboards. In this case, I'm just showing the generic dashboard that comes out of the box, which is just a general system overview, giving me some great information about my inventory at a high level. But I like to customize things a little bit, so I've created two nifty dashboards I'd like to share with you. First, we've got this one I've called Knock Home, which could be a great option to maybe put up on a big screen in the knock, or maybe just be the first thing you look at in the morning. And it gives me a rundown, first and foremost, of my server, Fabric Interconnect, and HyperFlex cluster health summaries. In addition, I've got the traffic utilization information for my top 5 ports in a particular UCS domain, along with a power consumption perspective here that shows me a graph of power consumption across all of my UCS domains. I've also got some additional detail below which can be handy, such as hardware compliance info and server model detail. But speaking of server model detail, sometimes I just need a rough view of my entire inventory. So I've created an inventory perspective here, which gives me all of that at my fingertips. Up at the top, you'll see I've got contract information for both my servers and my Fabric interconnects, along with licensing info for Intersight. And then down below, you'll see I've got more information around my server inventory, Fabric interconnect inventory, and of course my HyperFlex clusters, along with version info for both my servers and my Fabric interconnects. So super handy to maintain consistency across my install base. Now, one nice aspect of Intersight is that you can take any one of these dashboard components, or at least most of them, and drill down to get some more specific detail in this server inventory page. So let's say I have an upgrade project in mind. I want to get a little more consistency in my install base. I can click on this link here to get a view within my server inventory page of just those server platforms that have the firmware version of 3.0 4D. So it'll render this so I can take a look at just those servers of interest. Now what's nifty within this server dashboard page is you've got some nice, helpful, quick info bits up at the top. And you'll notice this bar extends a little bit, which it can be handy if you need more info up there. Not customizable at this point in time, but still provides a good amount of detail. And if you want a more collapsed perspective, you can do so as well by just clicking this little collapse button. And you'll just kind of get a graphic pictorial of what these various components represent. So you can see there, nice and tidy if I don't want that front and center. Now let's say I want to dive into more detail about one part of my inventory. Maybe I want to look at just those servers that have critical warnings. I can click on any of these little components and get a filter again for just those server platforms of interest. Now what's nifty about this is I can drill down into even more depth and take a look at the servers that pertain to another filter as well. So let's say I've got a huge install base. I want to look at critical servers in a particular subnet. I can select management IP as a secondary filter attribute, and I can just type in a particular server range. So you'll notice in this current list of critical servers, I've only got one server in the 10.95 range, but if I add this management IP area here, I can just go ahead and filter that, and that really helps manage large install bases with ease. So I can quickly get the details I need by just adding a couple of filters and getting all that stuff at my fingertips. Lastly, an important call out is that this information you're seeing both on the dashboards and the server pages is locally significant, which means that for every user that logs in, they get their own views, their own dashboards, their own column configuration in the server inventory. So you can have a really nice custom tailored view that is suited to your role. So in the server inventory page here, you can also use this little gear icon in the top right to specify just those bits that you are interested in. So maybe I'm just a day-to-day server manager on the ground and I don't really care about contract status all the time. You can remove that kind of detail from your view and rest assured that it's just going to be your view and not that of your entire teams. So handy detail, some nice tips on how to work with dashboards and servers within Intersight. Now there's a wealth of content that's available under the hood as you click down into servers and Hyperflex nodes and so on, but we'll cover those in future videos, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed the first installment of our Baz Bytes Intersight series. We've got lots more awesome content to come, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For now, I'd encourage you all to add your devices into Intersight. Remember, almost the entire UCS portfolio is already supported. Until next time, Tom out.